Hi all, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to discuss how to rescue begonias and how to propagate Medinilla Magnifica. So first of all, I would just take my clean scissors and I would make one even cut right on top of the node for the Medinilla Magnifica. So there you would see then I have two propagations. I would then proceed just to clean the Medinilla Magnifica with some clean tap water in my bowl. So this plant I actually rescued out of the garden to see if I can successfully propagate it and grow it in my house environment. I just love the beautiful flowers of the Medinilla Magnifica. So all I'm simply using is clean tap water just to nicely clean off the leaves. This particular plant has been living outdoors, so it was quite full of dust, and luckily I couldn't see any spider mite damage or any pest that came from outside, but you can never be too sure. So this is my very first long YouTube video, so thank you for watching my video. I really appreciate it. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you would want to see any more of my content. So this Medinilla Magnifica, I once again just look there right on top of the node and I go to make a clean cut. I've never actually propagated one of these before, but as I said, they have stunning beautiful flowers, so I would really want to grow one in my home environment. There's nothing else additionally added to the water, just clean tap water. So I wanted to make this video as realistic as possible for all the YouTubers out there watching from South Africa as well, that you do not need any fancy equipment to make YouTube videos or to care for your house plants. The simpler you keep it, the better off you are. We don't always have the required chemicals or pest control, things like that some of the other people use overseas, so we make do with what we have. For me personally, I don't think that we need to keep pest control and fertilizer to be so much complicated as you would think. It's very easy to use simple ingredients for your house plants to make them still happy and healthy and thriving in your home environment. If you are wondering what kind of cloth I'm using, I'm just using a microfiber cloth just to make sure that I clean off the leaves nicely to get rid of that excess residue for this plant was growing outside, so I wanted to make sure it was nice and clean and pest free. This is really a magnificent plant. I will keep you all posted on the progress of successful propagation for this plant. Next up, we have a begonia. So if I'm not mistaken, this begonia is actually called a strawberry begonia, and you can see the state of this plant is not so good. This poor plant has had better days. So let's have a look at these roots. You can see the substrate this plant was also in. It felt very sandy. It didn't feel like a very good potting mix that this plant was in. It was very, very dense. Next up, we have another begonia. I believe this one is called a painted begonia, if I'm not mistaken. Please correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but let's have a look at this begonia. You can see it's a very sandy, clayish soil mixture, not very good at all. It was clearly suffocating those roots. This begonia we have here is a Begonia maculata. Same sandy, clayish soil mixture that this begonia was in. I'm personally also not a fan of terracotta. Please leave your comments down below if you feel that terracotta is a nice pot to plant your plants in. I personally feel like it doesn't do very well, especially with begonias planted in them. Alright, so I was just busy soaking these begonia's roots just to make sure that I get all that soil and substrate off the roots, so that we can see what we are actually dealing with for the roots. Overall, the roots don't look too bad. Some of these begonias do have darker roots, so I'm not too concerned about the color of the roots. I would more like to see if the roots are actually pulling apart, to inspect them closer to see if there's any root rot happening for these plants. But this painted begonia so far doesn't look too bad. So I'm just putting it into another bucket of clean water, just normal tap water. So let's have a look at this Begonia maculata's root system. Begonias generally have a very, very fine root system, so I'm not too concerned about the texture of these roots. They have very fine hair-like roots. So you can see it's got a very nice root ball, and not much of the roots were pulling apart from this begonia. So I'm not too concerned, but I would like to just make sure that we get all that previous substrate off of the roots. So we can have a closer look. You can see there is some white roots on this plant, so not too concerning. As long as we have a good root system to work on, the chances of us saving a plant is higher than actually no root system at all. So let's see what's happening with this little strawberry begonia, if we can actually rescue this one. It's got a very, very, very tiny root system, so we will need to have a closer look at what we are actually dealing with. And straight off the bat, you can actually see that those roots are just pulling apart, which means that we are actually dealing with some root rot in the strawberry begonia. Alright, I'm just going to get rid of the old water that I soaked the roots in, just to get that initial soil off the roots. And then we will soak the roots again, just to make sure. So in the clean bowl of water, I have actually mixed hydrogen peroxide specifically for the roots, to make sure that if there's any root rot going on, that we do get rid of any bacteria or fungi that might contribute to the root rot. We just want to make sure that we are dealing with a healthy, good root system when we pot up these begonias. So I will put them in the bowl of just normal clean tap water mixed in with hydrogen peroxide, and I will let them soak for about 20 minutes to 30 minutes. You can see the hydrogen peroxide is working if it starts forming bubbles like it is on the root system. This means that it is actually helping to fight that bacteria that is growing on the root system. So yeah, we will leave it for 20 to 30 minutes. After I have left it to soak, I just went to go get another clean bowl of normal tap water, so that we can rinse the excess hydrogen peroxide from the roots, so that we can prevent it from being burnt from that. These roots actually look so much better already after having soaked in that hydrogen peroxide. You can see that painted begonia's roots actually turned white now. Let's see what this Begonia maculata's roots actually look like now. Yeah, you can see some of them have also turned more white. So that is exactly what we are looking for. This strawberry begonia. The roots also look much better. They are a little bit darker in color, but some begonias do have a darker root system. Alright, so let's start potting them up. This is my go-to soil mix that I use. I call it my aroid mix. It's basically soilless. If you want the ingredients for my soil mix, please comment down below, and I will give you the ingredients. It consists of a lot of orchid bark, perlites, charcoal, and more ingredients, but I will leave the ingredients for you if you want to know more. I will also make a separate video of how I mix my soil mix, and basically this soil mixture I use for all of my house plants, for my aeroids, for my Hoyas, for the begonias, for all of them, and all of them love it. So I'll keep you posted about these begonias, if they did survive the repot, especially this little strawberry begonia. I just use a slow release fertilizer, Myocoat. If you want to know more about my fertilizer as well, please comment down below and I will leave you more details on my slow release fertilizer as well. So with the Medinilla Magnifica, I just potted it in normal tap water after I cleaned the leaves, so that we can propagate it in water. I have found that with plants that have a soft textured stem, they propagate much easier in water as they do in a soil mixture. So I'll keep you posted on the propagation for the Medinilla Magnifica as well. So here I go ahead putting up the painted begonia in the same soil mixture. This one already looks so much better and healthier just for cleaning the roots off of this plant. Just an apology in advance for the voiceover. My camera actually did not record my voice when I was doing the filming. That's why I'm doing a voiceover for this specific video. Make sure that your plants are nicely secured in the pot when you repot them. I'm also adding a little bit of slow release fertilizer just to give that additional boost for the plant. It might go through some trauma after having all the old soil removed and putting it in a new substrate. So we want to give these plants the best chance possible in able to survive and then later thrive. All potted up. This is an absolute beautiful begonia. And then last but not least, we will be potting up the Begonia maculata, or the polka dot begonia, in my same potting mix. My potting mix is very nice and airy. It does tend to dry out a little bit faster. I tend to be quite heavy on the watering. I like to soak my plants, bottom water and then top water as well, to make sure all the substrate is nice and wet once a week. So I do prefer to use a very airy mix for my plants, so to prevent any root rot on my plants. I use the slow release fertilizer in all of my house plants. I slow release fertilize them about every 6 months, and then also I use an organic liquid fertilizer with each week's watering, just to make sure that all of my soil is kept to the optimal conditions for my houseplants at all times, giving them the adequate nutrition that my plants needs. I'm just removing all the caterpillars from my begonia, and already she looks so much better. I have found this particular Begonia maculata is very easy to grow, so I hope that I can rescue this beautiful girl and that you can live happily in my house. So yes, thank you for watching my very first YouTube video. I really appreciate you. Please, again, like and subscribe if you want to see more of my content. I will also give you all the products that I use. I will link them. Please comment down below everything I use to clean my leaves. So over here I'm cleaning the Begonia maculata's leaf with a combination of isopropyl alcohol and hydrogen peroxide, just to make sure that we kill those initial pests. I didn't, however, see any pests on these plants, but you can never be too sure. With the houseplant collection of over 80 plants, I would also make sure that I isolate these plants away from my other house plants, just to make sure that I don't introduce any pests into my house and I have to later on treat all of them for pests. But yes, thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you want to see more of my content.